Does having a U.S. company help me get a U.S. visa?
Yeah, that's a question that we get a lot, and some people unfortunately are under the impression that getting an entity and a bank account or a company here, it's sort of like a stepping stone to get you a visa. I mean, it's partly true. Just like I said previously, in certain visas, it's a must that you have to, create an entity. For example, for the E2, right? The E2 is an investment visa. We'll get into it later on. There's other investment visas. It's a temporary one, right? But in the end, you have to have a vehicle, right? That's going to be the investment vehicle, right? So for that, you need that entity. Now, in itself, right? There's thousands, if not millions, of people. You do this on an everyday basis. Create these companies that open up these bank accounts, payment processors, etc. We have millions of people, foreigners who have that. So no, you cannot just simply sort of say, "Oh, I have a company. You know, can I get a visa?"
But
Uh,
does it help to have one set up ahead of time?
I mean, it depends. Like I said, it depends on specifically which kind of visas. A lot of visas, you do need, these entities like the E2, or even if you're doing sort of like a talent-based visa, right? Because we have to, when you're saying, and we'll get into these visas later on, but for example, like the EV1 or the EV2 are for people who have, great talents, right? They have a great sort of track record and the experience feel at their end, right? But they're not going to come here and say work for a company specifically. You're not required to do that. That's why they're like sort of self-petitioning, right? You
Yeah.
can do it on your own. You don't have to have an employer. But then if you are going to do it like that and you're not particularly working for an employer, you don't have a prospective employer, then what you typically do is that you set up these consulting sort of firms, right? Where they can still work in their field, their industry, but they need that vehicle as well, right? They need a company, an entity where they can, bail, get paid, etc. So I would say it's important for a lot of the visas, right? It's definitely certainly a requirement for some reasons, but it's not like if you have it, 50% of the job is done in order to, I don't know, become either a resident or be able to get a visa. But in general, to answer your question, I think it's a good idea to have, yeah, to have an entity here in the United States with a bank account, regardless of what your plan is and what kind of visa you want to
What
attempt to apply for.
what I'm generally telling clients is that it's more important to have a functioning business that generates profits and revenues for you, so you can use it to sponsor yourself.
For
But
sure.
in my experience with you, most of the time we create a new entity anyways, and usually it's most required for like the E2. It's one of the more common
Right.
visas.
Right.
So I would, yeah. So in the end, an LLC can help you, but it's not really at all. It doesn't. I say
Well,
no kind of because we end up
yeah,
opening
but
a new entity.
by itself, no. Like so yeah, there's a lot of people who say, hey, look, I have an apartment and I have a bank account and I have this company that owns the apartment, the LLC, which is great for tax purposes, like you've discussed 1,000 times and I heard you discuss with clients and stuff like that. But that doesn't particularly give you the opportunity to apply for a visa immediately or get a visa, right? Um, but it's always good to have that, right? And if you want to begin the process of moving your family to the United States, looking into this type of visas, it's extremely important and advisable to get someone like you that would help you in the beginning to structure all that. So once you get to the United States, everything's structured and you don't have to go through the headache of planning it out when you could have done it before, and it probably could have saved you a lot of money.
I hear you, man. Thanks for watching this clip of the U.S. Immigration Foundation live stream. We go live every Monday and we are answering all of your questions. If you have a specific immigration question or tax question, international tax, show up on Monday or just post the comment here. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow the channel if you have other questions about immigration or moving to the U.S. and we want to just help you out. So thank you for being here. Like, subscribe, follow, and we'll see you on Monday.